Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking all 36 MCU movies and TV ranked. Let's just get straight into it. Starting off with number 36 is Thor the Dark World, of course. This movie was okay. More on the bad side than the good side. Anyway, I think this movie was a mess, and just not really enjoyable. I think the storyline of Jane and Thor was just not good, and the villain of Malekith was just not good. Was just not a good villain. I did really enjoy Thor in this movie. I think Chris Hemsworth did a very good job with acting in this movie. I just think that this movie will not be for everyone, of course, and will definitely be deserving to be on the bottom of the list for me because it does have some but yeah, definitely deserves to be on the bottom of the list. But I still think this movie does have its good things, which I'm happy with. Number 35 is, it's Iron Man 2. Okay, Iron Man 2 was a good movie. I really enjoyed my time with this movie. Now, this isn't anything special, but for me, it was worth my time. The villain of Whiplash could have been a bit better, and War Machine could have been a bit better as well. I think Iron Man / Tony Stark, whatever you like to call him, was just very entertaining. Was a very entertaining character that I enjoyed in this movie. The second act of this film, for me, was just the weakest part of this movie. Didn't really, work that well for me, but overall, I still really enjoy. Well, not really. I still enjoyed this movie. It's still a good movie, but it's nothing special. It's just an Iron Man movie for me. It's nothing top tier. Number 34 is Thor. Thor's number 34, if you're wondering. Thor is okay. The original Thor was a fun movie. Now, again, nothing special. I think Chris Hemsworth in this movie was very entertaining, and the villain of Laufey, the King of the Frost Giants, was an okay villain. Nothing special. I think this movie does have its problems, like the first act of this movie could have been a bit better for me. The third act was the best out of this whole movie for me, but overall, Thor, it's still a good movie. It's nothing special, but it's number 34. I still really enjoy the film though. It's still a good movie. I just rewatched it a week ago. Still really, lands well. Number 33 for me is Avengers Age of Ultron. Okay, this movie is enjoyable to the extent. I think this movie does have some major problems for me. Like, the pacing in this movie could have been way much better. And the villain of Ultron, I just think, was a bland villain. I know I will be not with the minority, but that is just my personal opinion. But I do think this movie does have its good things, like the new ads of Wanda Maximoff and Pietro Maximoff. I think these characters were really good adds to this movie. I like seeing the Avengers back. I think I enjoyed most of them in this movie, but some of them, for me, didn't get enough screen time as I wanted them to be in. But it's still a good movie that I still enjoyed, but it's nothing special. It's nothing special for me. Number 32 for me is Captain Marvel. Okay, Captain Marvel for me did get pushed up. I think for the past year I've been treating this movie not greatly, but I did rewatch this movie, and for me I really enjoyed this movie. I think there is definitely problems with this movie, like the story was some point out of where it was going and wasn't on the point of where it was needing to go. I think the villain of Yon-Rogg was an okay villain, nothing amazing for me. I think that Brie Larson as Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel was really good, and I cannot wait to see her in the Marvels next year. But anyway, Captain Marvel, I still really enjoyed this movie. It's nothing to do with like the actors or the cast and crew. It's just to do with the movie itself. The story, like I said, and the movie didn't really get onto the point of where it was trying to go. That's what I was a bit disappointed about. Number 31 is What If. Now, What If? Okay, for me, What If was a very good show. There were problems for me with the season because there were problems for me with the season. We're getting a season 2 anyway. I think this was. God damn, can't even speak. This wasn't anything special. For me, I did enjoy most of the episodes, but some didn't work for me. I think that the animation of the show was very good, and I did enjoy that. I did enjoy the show. My favorite thing about the show was the Doctor Strange episode. I think that episode was really good and really enjoyable to watch. But overall, the show is nothing special, but it's still an enjoyable show. I get it's still enjoyable. I like the animation, but it's not top TV shows for me. Number 30, Eternals. God, people are gonna hate that. Eternals. Okay, Eternals is a very good movie. I did enjoy my time with this movie. There were some problems with this movie for me, with all the Eternals. I think that all 12 of them, I think there were 12, I think they didn't do well with fleshing them out for me, and the villain of this movie was nothing spectacular for me. But overall, I enjoy this movie. I think those are really only the major problems with this movie. But I still enjoyed my time with this movie. It was still a good, entertaining movie that I enjoyed. But it's nothing, special, top notch, amazing. None of that. It's a movie, and I still enjoy it. Like, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's still a good movie, but it's nothing special for me. Number 29 is The Incredible Hulk. Okay, The Incredible Hulk is a very good movie. I think Edward Norton was very good as Hulk, but for me, Mark Ruffalo is the better Hulk. Anyway, I think this movie was entertaining, but with some problems. I think the direction of where this movie was going didn't really work for me, and the villain of Abomination was just okay for me. Nothing special, but I did enjoy my time with this movie, and I think that this movie does get hate, but doesn't deserve to get a lot of hate. Because if you do watch it, it's a good movie. Like, actually, I used to hate on this movie. I'm not gonna lie. I used to hate, like, really hate on this movie. But I actually enjoyed it when I rewatched it. Like, it was really good. And I enjoyed it. But like I said, nothing special. But it's a movie, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. 28 for me is Iron Man 3. Okay, Iron Man 3 was a very good movie. I think this movie does have its problems for me, like the fake Mandarin plot. That was just a shambles and nothing that I liked really. I think the villain in this movie was good, but with some of the character development missing for me. I did enjoy seeing Tony Stark / Iron Man back, Robert Downey Jr. But there were some problems with Iron Man 3, unfortunately. But I still enjoyed this movie. I think the action was really good. The villain's motive could have been better. I love the cast. The acting was great. It's still a really good movie, but like I said, it does have problems. That's the major key with this movie. But I still really enjoyed it. So if it's low, doesn't mean that I don't enjoy it. Number 27, probably going to get a lot of hate for this. It's Miss Marvel. Okay, now, one of the new ads, Miss Marvel, I really enjoyed my time with the show. I think that there were some problems with this, with episodes from the middle of the show. I think Iman Vellani was a great pick as Miss Marvel, and she does well. I think the show does have some problems, like I said, so it does let down the score and place on this ranking, but does not mean that I don't enjoy this show, because I had a fun time with the show. And I know the show won't be for everyone, because it's like a coming of age kind of story. I know people won't really enjoy that, but for me, I had a fun time. I enjoyed it. What else can I add? It's still a fun show. I enjoyed it. I had a fun time. And yeah, I'm happy with that. But I know some people could, have their own different opinions. Number 26 is Black Widow. Okay, this movie was actually a fun movie. I really enjoyed my time with Black Widow, and I know this movie should have been released like years ago, but I still really enjoyed this movie. But with its flaws, the villain of this movie was just not good for me. Taskmaster could have been could have been a better villain in this movie, but just did not happen for me. I think Scarlett Johansson killed it in this movie, of course, and Florence Pugh as the Yelena. It was great, and I liked the ad of David Harbour as Red Guardian. I think he was really entertaining in this movie. And I do like the cast of Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, O.T. Fake Bell, Ray Winstone. I think all of them do really well. Even Taskmaster, the acting was good, but the character was just not good. Number 25 for me, it's Hawkeye. What's Hawkeye? Okay, Hawkeye was a fun TV show. I had a blast, but I think the villain of the show could have been a bit more better. I think that it was nice to see Hawkeye back in the show. I think Jeremy Renner just kills it as always in this role of Hawkeye, and Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop. I think she does very well in the show. But I really enjoyed my time with the series, but it does have its problems. Like the villain, the final episode of the show just didn't really work well for me. That's about all the problems. It's still a really fun, action-packed Christmas, because it's set around Christmas action series. I think the action in the show was really good. I didn't really like the 6-episode Disney Marvel shows. Still don't work for me. Another big fall there. Number 24 for me is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Okay, this movie is very good. I know this movie will be mixed for some people, but for me, I really enjoyed my time with this movie. And didn't know that we would be getting an ego villain. There was, because in the comics, I didn't really know that would happen, but it did. Played by Kurt Russell, fantastic actor, was really good in this movie. And yeah, it's just a fun movie that I enjoyed. I had a fun time. We got a sad death by Yondu, that was really sad. But I still enjoyed my time with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Cannot wait for Volume 3 whenever that comes out. I forgot when it comes out, but I cannot wait for that. But I still really enjoyed this movie, and I cannot wait for more Guardians, because you'll see Guardians soon. Number 23 for me. Probably going to get a lot of hate for this. It's WandaVision. Okay, I know the show will be high up for everyone, but for me, I did rewatch the show, and I just thought it was a very good show, because it used to be an awesome show for me. It was good to see Wanda Maximoff and Vision back. That was really good, and I think the villain of Agatha Harkness was so good, and I love the villain. I will say that the show does have its problems, unfortunately for me. Like, some of the episodes just didn't work for me, but there is a good side to it. There were 9 episodes, and this was the right amount of episodes for these shows, for these Marvel Disney Plus shows, so I'll give it that. See, 9 episodes, around 30 to 40 minutes an episode, that is a good runtime and a good amount of episodes, and then the final was like an hour. See, great runtimes, great episodes. This is what shows need to do. Come on. But WandaVision, I enjoyed it. It was a good show. I had a fun time with it. Yeah. Number 22 for me is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Okay, I had fun with the show because I love both Falcon / Captain America and Winter Soldier. I think they were really entertaining in the show, and I think the villain of the show could have been a bit better, but I still enjoyed this villain. I think I was looking forward to seeing Zemo back, and he was really good in the show, and I had a fun time with the show. I know for me, WandaVision and Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, are the same score for me at 78%, so I can change it around any time, but I know I'm probably like the only person to think that, but I enjoy the Falcon and the Winter Soldier more than WandaVision. Sorry, but that's just my opinion. I enjoy these shows. Anyway, 21 on the list is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was a great time. I had a blast, and I cannot wait to rewatch. Uh, and I cannot wait to watch this movie again. But I think this movie, some people will not like. I think people like, people. I think people like it. Some, it's half. Like people like it, some people don't. But if people don't like this movie, I can see why. But overall, it was just a great time, and I'm excited for more Doctor Strange. I think this movie does have some problems shown because of COVID with the Illuminati. The entire thing was just a shambles. I really enjoyed seeing them, but yeah, I'm probably like the only person to say that. I know it was a bit of a shambles. I still really enjoyed them though. I still really enjoyed them, but with COVID and that kind of interrupted the movie. And yeah, number 20 for me is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay, Ant-Man and the Wasp was a great movie. I had such a fun time with this movie, and I think that this movie is not better than the original Ant-Man, but it's still a fun and entertaining movie. I think that the villain of Ghost in this movie was a good villain, but nothing amazing for me. I think Ant-Man was the standout for me of this movie because Paul Rudd is just a delight to watch on screen and just funny as hell. But you know, Ant-Man and the Wasp, great movie. I enjoyed my time with it. There's nothing better than this movie. Oh, there is. Um, but yeah, there is problems. I don't know if I said there. Yeah, no, there are problems with this movie. I think the second act was a, a bit rushed for me. It was still good, but it was a bit rushed. I still really enjoyed this movie though. Number 19 for me, Doctor Strange, the original. Okay, Doctor Strange is better than the sequel anyway. It's better than the sequel. Anyway, this movie was great. I had a blast with this movie. I think Benedict Cumberbatch was great as Doctor Strange. I think the flaws in this movie would have been in the calculus. What's the name of the villain? I think the villain was just not amazing for me. Just a meh villain. But I do love the actor, Matt Mikkelsen. He's a great actor. With this movie, he does a great job. But the character just did not really give me excited to watch on screen because the development of this character was just not great and could have been a bit better. But overall, Doctor Strange is still a great movie. I still really enjoyed my time with it. There are problems with it, unfortunately, but it's still just a fun and entertaining movie that I enjoyed the hell out of, and I cannot wait for more. Number 18 is another one people probably going, why is it so low? It's Loki. Loki was a great show. I really enjoyed my time with the show. Now I had no expectations for the show because I wasn't a massive fan of the show when it got announced. But I loved the show, and I love Loki and Morbius's chemistry in the show. It was just awesome, and loved their relationship in the show. I think the villain of He Who Remains, I think that's how you say it, was just amazing, and cannot wait to see him in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania. Um, but you know, Loki, I really enjoyed the show. It was, yeah, like just so much fun, just a great time. Yeah, like who doesn't love this show? Well, if you don't, I, good for you. I mean, it's your opinion. But if you do, good for you. It's your opinion. Anyway, Loki, great show. 17, Captain America: First Avenger. Okay, this movie just pushed it up for me since I rewatched this movie. I think it does have its issues, but I still really enjoyed my time. And I think Chris Evans is fantastic as Captain America, and I'm a massive fan of Chris Evans because of this. Anyway, I really enjoyed this movie, and Red Skull is the main villain in this movie. He was just so good and so entertaining to watch, and so menacing as well. In this movie, I just really enjoyed it. I love the uh, World War. I think it's World War. Crap. World War Two, maybe. I'm not sure. Sorry. Um, but loved that aspect to the film. I loved the chemistry between Bucky and I was about to say Captain America, of course. But yeah, great movie. 16 for me is Moon Knight. Moon Knight. Okay, Moon Knight is a great show, and I loved it. I think Oscar Isaac as Mark Spector / Stephen Grant, and spoilers, Jake Lockley. He was just awesome in the show, and I love the villain of Arthur Harrow, played by Ethan Hawke. He's just a great villain. I love the show. I know the show does get hated on, which I think it shouldn't, because it was a great show. Neil Lawson for me, just a really fun, entertaining show. I enjoyed my time with it. I mean, if you don't like it, fair enough, it's your opinion, but I really enjoyed the hell out of the show. And yeah, it's just so much fun. Like, really so much fun. And I cannot wait to see it again, because it was just fun. Number 15. Number 15. It's the new ad, Thor Love and Thunder. I think Thor Love and Thunder is an awesome movie. I really enjoyed my time with this movie, and hopefully we get more. I think the whole cast was awesome in this movie, and Taika's work in this movie was just awesome as always, and pushing up to be one of my favourite directors of all time. I think this movie does have a few amount of problems, but nothing big for me, and yeah, it was just a fun, entertaining movie that I just loved. I know this movie is mixed, but I'm on the really positive side, and the villain of Gore the God Butcher was just fantastic. Christian Bale kills it in this role. I loved Natalie Portman in this film. She killed it as well. The whole cast killed it. The movie was great. I loved it. Awesome. It's not better than Thor Ragnarok. I'll give it that. A little bit of a disappointing there. It's not better than Thor Ragnarok. Did I think it was going to be better than Thor Ragnarok? No, but I know that I was going to enjoy this film, which I did, and I'm happy with that. And number 14 for me is Ant-Man. Okay, Ant-Man is such an awesome movie for me. I enjoy my time with this movie. I think Paul Rudd was a great pick for this role, and I just enjoy his presence on screen. I think the villain of Yellow Jacket was really good with his motive. I think that this was a great, that this movie was great. In my time, I had a great time with it. With now, there are some problems with the movie. Like, the plot could have worked a bit better on the screen for me, and the second act of the film could have been a bit better. It didn't really work that well for me, but it was still a fun movie that I enjoyed. But it does still have small amount of problems, unfortunately. But I really enjoy Ant-Man, so can't really give it hate. 13 for me, Black Panther. Black Panther is an awesome movie. And I really enjoyed my time with this movie. Chadwick Boseman just kills it in this movie for me, and 1000% the standout of this movie for me. I love the villain in this movie, played by Michael B. Jordan. He was just awesome in this movie. There are some problems with this movie, but nothing major. There was just one character which I just thought could have been a bit better in this movie. For me, it was Claw. I think this villain could have been a bit more fleshed out, a bit more. Didn't really get enough screen time, unfortunately. Kind of got killed off by Killmonger. But yeah, I still really enjoyed that character. I really like this movie. Is an awesome movie. I really enjoyed it. It's just a great time. I cannot lie. It's a great movie. It's a great time. Definitely check it out if you have not seen it already, because it's a must watch. Number 12. Probably a movie that people are going to be like, oh my god, why is it so high? Spider-Man Far From Home. Okay, I know this movie some people think it's just okay or good, but for me, I think this movie is awesome. Now, I think the reason why I enjoy this movie is because it's so entertaining for me, and Mysterio as the villain was just amazing, played by Jake Gyllenhaal. He just kills it as always, and then Tom Holland as Spider-Man, just great as always as well. I love Spider-Man Far From Home. It was a great movie. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I loved the whole cast. I loved the characters. Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Nick Fury, MJ, Happy, Hogan, Peter's auntie, I forgot her name was, Aunt May. There we go. Come on, take this stupid idiot. And Quentin Beck / Mysterio. Great characters. Really enjoyed this movie. Number 11. the one that sadly did not make it, is Thor Ragnarok. Okay, Thor Ragnarok is an awesome movie for me. I think Taika Waititi kills it with directing this movie. I think he does so well with the directing of this movie and made Thor amazing for me, because Thor 1 was good, Thor 2 was okay, and then Thor 3 was just awesome. And I just think this movie is really humorous. It's a really humorous movie, which I loved, and I just had a blast with watching this movie for me, and I cannot wait to see more from Thor and more of Taika's movies, because he just kills it and knocks it out of the park for me. I mean, who doesn't love Thor Ragnarok? Like, this movie fucking revamped Thor, which, yeah, man. But, you know, I really enjoy this movie, hands down. Number 11 for me. But I wish it was closer. I think, you know, 11 and 10 is a little bit of a matchup. Number 10 for me, Captain America Civil War. Okay, Captain America Civil War was just a fun, epic movie that I really enjoyed. I think this movie it was so much fun and just an epic movie to watch. With you deciding on either Team Cap or Team Iron Man, I was always on Team Cap. But anyway, this movie does have just one problem for me, and that was the second act of the movie. I think that this part of the movie just slows down a wee bit, but nothing major for me with this movie. It's just a fun, epic movie that I enjoyed the hell out of, and I cannot wait to re-watch this movie. But yeah, if you have not seen Captain America Civil War, come on. Like, it's a movie where you need to watch it because it's so much fun. And like how the team just splits up, and there's conflict between Iron Man and Captain America. That was just an amazing storyline to go for. And yeah, number 9 for me, Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay, Spider-Man Homecoming is just an awesome movie for me. I really enjoyed my time with this movie, and I was a bit skeptical walking into this movie because I grew up with Spider-Man, and with Tom Holland, didn't really know who this actor was, so I was a bit, scared. But Tom Holland was just a great choice for Spider-Man. Like, he was so good. This movie does have a tiny issue, and that is the second act of this movie. I think for me, it slowed down like Civil War. But anyway, it just affects my score. But nothing majorly for me. It's just a fun movie, a fun time, and I enjoyed the hell out of this movie and cannot wait to rewatch this movie. Number 8 for me, Iron Man, the original Iron Man. Okay, Iron Man was the beginning of all 36 of these movies / TVs. And for me, I just think this movie was awesome, of course. I really enjoyed my time with this movie. I think Robert Downey Jr. was a fantastic pick for Iron Man. I think the villain in this movie was a good villain for me. I think that the problems in this movie, for me, was the first act of this movie. I think it was just good. Then the second and third act were just awesome. So the first act kind of let it down a wee bit, but I still really enjoyed the hell out of Iron Man. Such a punk, fun, epic movie that I enjoyed the hell out of, and I cannot wait to rewatch the original Iron Man, because everyone loves a good Iron Man. Number 7, probably a pick that I was really shocked to be this high for me. It's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Okay, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is a fantastic movie, and definitely deserving to be number 7 on this list. I really enjoyed my time with this movie, and I cannot wait to see Shang-Chi 2, if it is happening. But I'm just a massive fan of this movie, and I think Simu Liu was a fantastic pick for this role of Shang-Chi. And the villain in this movie was just one of the best villains of Marvel, in my opinion. But yeah, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. God, I love this movie so much. It's so good. If you have not seen it, check it out. It's a must-watch movie, because it's just, it's so good. It's just, yeah, it's amazing. To be honest, it's an amazing movie, and yeah, I enjoyed this movie so much, and it's just a fun time and a fun action-packed epic movie. Number 6 is The Avengers. Okay, this movie was the first team-up movie with Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Hulk, and Thor all in one movie. That was just amazing, and this movie is just fantastic. I really enjoy my time with this movie, and I think that this movie should be higher, but there are some higher ones for me, in my opinion, but I still really enjoyed my time with this movie. And the villain of Loki in this movie was just fantastic as well. I loved Loki in this movie, and was just so excited to see this movie as well, because I remember watching this movie when I was like, how old was I? Probably like 8, and I did watch this movie, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It was so good. It was just fantastic. Uh, but you know, The Avengers definitely deserving to be number 6 for me. Hands down. Fantastic movie. Number 5, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Okay, Captain America the Winter Soldier is a fantastic movie. I really enjoyed this movie so much. I think Chris Evans kills it in this movie. I think the villain of Winter Soldier in this movie was just freaking awesome. I think the movie was just a fun and entertaining movie that I had a blast with, and was higher on this list before I did this ranking. It was like number 2. I think it was number 2 or number 1. It was number 1. It was like number 2 or number 3. But I still love this movie. Like, it's really good. If you have not seen Captain America the Winter Soldier, check it out. It is a great movie, and I just enjoy the hell out of this movie. It's just so good. I love it so much. And I cannot wait to rewatch it whenever that will be, because, like I said, I love Captain America. Number 4 for me, Avengers Infinity War. Okay, Avengers Infinity War isn't just amazing. I think this movie was making it, was in the makings for 10 years, with Iron Man to Black Panther. All these movies led to this amazing, masterful movie. I love this movie so much, and the villain in this movie, Thanos, is just, is a phenomenal villain, and he kills it in this movie. And played by Josh Brolin, who is just a phenomenal actor. And with the ending of this movie, could have waited a bit better for me, but I still loved the hell out of this movie, and it's, I might rewatch this movie. I might rewatch it, because it's really good for me. And yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie, and cannot wait to rewatch it. My number 3, the one that gets the bronze medal out of this group. Medal? I said medal. I don't say medal. Can't even speak. Anyway, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes. Okay, this movie is one of the craziest movies of the MCU, where you have a talking tree, a talking raccoon, and set in space. How crazy does that sound? Well, for me, it worked so well. And I think this movie is amazing for what it is. I think the cast is just fantastic. A fantastic picks of Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Dave Bautista. Like, great picks. And James Gunn, who's a very unknown director at that time. He just kills it with directing, and one of my favourite directors of all time now. He's so good in this movie. And I loved Guardians of the Galaxy, and I cannot wait to rewatch this movie. Number 2 for me, the one that makes this silver, is Avengers Endgame. Okay, this movie was very close on staying at number 1, but I'll tell you what number 1 is in a second. But anyway, this movie is a masterpiece of a film. How we had to wait 1 year for this movie because of Infinity War was just such an awesome idea. But how we get to see these fallen heroes that have lost their loved ones, that was just a fantastic premise of a movie, because that really happens in a movie of heroes getting defeated by villains. And I loved that idea so much. The movie is phenomenal. I love Avengers Endgame. I even have it on DVD. I know I don't do Blu-ray. I'm poor. I'm not that poor. Anyway, it's a great movie. Like, it's a phenomenal movie. I love this movie so much and cannot wait to rewatch it. But of course, my number one movie out of this entire 36 movies and TV shows ranked, which is a very long video, thanks for watching, is Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay, for me, this is another masterpiece of a film. I don't care if it just released last year and I call it a masterpiece. It just is. How? They put 3 Spider-Men in one movie, and they basically have a Sinister Six in this movie. It's just insane to hear and watch, and I loved this movie so much. And one of my favourite movies of all time. Never knew I would say that, but I just did. It's phenomenal. It's a masterpiece. I love this film. I know I'm probably like one of the only people that say this, but it's a fucking fantastic movie. Like, it's really good. If you have not seen it, check this movie out. I've seen this movie like over 10 times. Like, it's so good. But that is it. That is my ranking of all 36 MCU movies / TV shows ranked. Thank you for watching. If you do watch this video, and if you've stayed this long, comment down below what are your 36 MCU movies and TV, or if you have not seen any, all of them, what are your top 10 MCU movies, what are your top 5 and TV shows, what are your top 5 MCU movies and TV shows, or if you have just seen the movies, what are your top 10, top 5, top 20, whatever, just list it down below. Thanks for watching. There'll be videos on the screen right there. Down below is my podcast. Please listen to it, be a massive help. Subscribe, turn on the post notification bell, and yeah, like this video. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. Or there'll be more MCU content coming out tomorrow. But thanks for watching. Take care. Peace.